Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Friday, March 13th, 2026. I, of course, am Hammer, founder of Hammer Solutions, with great products like Originator, Success, Grab and Go Social, and Rate Sensei. If you are a mortgage originator, be sure to check those out. They'll help you to get more business in 2026. Remember, you can join me live each and every weekday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, broadcasting on Facebook and YouTube. If you're here this morning, say good morning. If you're watching on the replay, do me a favor. Give me hashtag replay in the comments. Let me know that you were here. Let Facebook and YouTube know that you were here. If you would like a reminder that I'm going live each day so you don't miss a moment of the show, go ahead and sign up at hmmr.io/reminder or give this cool QR code over here a quick click and sign up that way. That'll sign you up for the text. You can also get our daily emails at www.ratelocgadvice.com. You can get our text alerts at www.ratetextalerts.com. If you're here this morning, say good morning. Allison Foy, happy St. Patrick's Day. I know it's actually not until the 17th, but I don't care because I feel like after a week like this, we need to drink early. So it's Friday. I say we make it a 4-day weekend right into St. Patrick's Day. And, hey, let's go with it. Let's do it again. I know I'm throwing everybody off because it's actually next Tuesday and we'll do it again. But I figure we're going to start. Why celebrate Friday the 13th? We don't need any bad luck today. We're going with good luck. We're going with the luck of the Irish, and let's have some fun with that instead. That's my philosophy. Good morning, Rob Stewart. Great to have you here as well. Slow to see people on this morning. I don't know. Did the text actually get out there? Initiate processing now. Oh, that's why. Well, there you go. Well, we know that definitely makes a difference because that's why people are not quite on yet. And there you go. So the text just went out. So that'll get people on in a moment. Again, I do know that it's not St. Patrick's Day, but I figure, A, you're probably going to see a lot of people drinking this weekend for it. And B, as originators, when you see rates that are moving up into the, 6.375, 6.5 area, that's cause for drinking after we were just at 5.99. So I am there. All right. Well, let's go ahead. I'm going to bounce in because we're already 3 minutes in, even though I guess that does show that text does matter, though. Holy smokes. The text did not hit yet. So where is that text? Doobie-doo. There it is. Now it hit. It just hit. So yeah, that text was a little late this morning. So we'll see everybody popping on. All right. Well, anyway, let's go ahead and jump to the screens. We'll get to the good part. And then we can say hi to everybody in the meantime. So good morning, Yasmin. All right. So quick recap on what happened yesterday. Let's zoom in and we'll go from there. Let me refresh the page because now it won't move. All right. So taking a look here, we could see yesterday was a rough day. And in fact, if we take a look, we picked up right here. It's important to start here. So this was yesterday, everything between the yellow lines here, right? So yesterday we picked up where we left off on Wednesday. Wednesday, we started off real nice. And we lost a lot of ground on Wednesday. And then yesterday, we started out, no big losses, but just started out right with that same way. Lost a lot of ground on the day yesterday, which for the week, I mean, this puts us pretty square in a spot. So starting out on Monday, look at where we were. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it really was it's been a big loss the last few days here, and that's ugly. So yesterday we saw a lot of fits and starts through the day. Pricing came out right about here. We were right around that 99.20-ish mark when pricing was coming out yesterday. And then almost immediately after that, around 11 o'clock, we saw a big dip, and then things were kind of all right. And then in the afternoon, it got real ugly right here in the afternoon. And that's when the lion's share of reprices worst came out. We did send out a text alert earlier in the day to lock. It just was not showing any signs of improvement. We got some late day, a little bit of recovery here from the worst levels of the day right here, but not enough to get excited about. Now, today we were seeing things up a little bit this morning and moving from there. I'll come back to that. So rate sheets this morning, though, going to be worse than all of the worse than everything that came out in the morning, but it should be better than anything we got when people were repricing worse generally. So again, there were a lot of reprices worse yesterday when we saw this sell off. And hopefully today things are improving a bit. So yesterday you saw rates. I mean, it was a rough week for rates. We were going from maybe 6 1/8 up to 6 3/8, jumped about a quarter in rate. You'll see a little bit of recovery this morning, but a couple of things. Number one, it's Friday. You're not going to see much improvement. And yeah, Yasmin, the text you should have gotten the text now. I didn't hit the button. I didn't click the button. So, and yeah, now those of you may notice, we are celebrating St. Patrick's Day today. I know that it's not St. Patrick's Day. I don't care. We're making it a 4-day drinking holiday. We're starting now. We're drinking all the way to next Tuesday. Next Tuesday is actually St. Patrick's Day. We're going to start now and drink all the way till next Tuesday. It's just that way right now. So we're starting early. So we don't want to invite any negative superstition with Friday the 13th. We don't want to risk what might happen to rates. We're going to fight Friday the 13th with early St. Patty's Day mojo. That is today's rally, right? So I know I'm early. I haven't been hitting the head that hard. But we're drinking anyway. So let's do it. All right. Anyway, coming back to what we're at, let me bring the screen back up and hit where we're on. So rate sheets going to be a little bit better than this end of day, where we were at the end of the day yesterday, but it's going to be worse than where we were the day before. So you'll see something in the middle there. Mortgage bonds currently up 19 basis points. That sounds so wonderful, so sexy, so exciting until you realize that, looking very clearly right here at how much loss we've had. On Wednesday, it was 99.28. Yesterday, we were at 98.94. And so we've gotten some recovery this morning to 99.11, which, looks amazing. But we're barely recovering. We recovered some in overnight trading. That's why the body of this candlestick here starts so much higher than the end of this candlestick. That's because this was end of day trading and this is morning trading. So when you look at the 48-hour chart, you see this line right. Why did it switch to, hold on a minute. Let me get rid of that. You see this line right here. See how it jumps up? We ended the day here. We begin the next day here. This is overnight trading right there. And that's why you're seeing this gap that would be kind of right here for this candlestick. So if you were to draw this complete candlestick, that's how, it is a nice recovery, but we're halfway to yesterday's losses. And I wouldn't expect that we're going to see much recovery from there. So don't read into it. Also, the data this morning was not the catalyst. We had a lot of data this morning, and I haven't bothered to talk about it. We had the PCE data. We had the final GDP numbers for the fourth quarter. We had the consumer spending. And I haven't bothered to really talk about any of it. You know why? Because none of it's going to matter. It's all about the price of oil and everything that's going on in Iran and over in the Middle East. Right now, there's really nothing here. Fourth quarter GDP was revised down to just 0.7%. Normally this would be a, kind of a red flag, a weak economy. The Fed needs to lower rates to go ahead and spur the economy. This would normally give us a little bit of incentive to expect to see a rate cut, which we know there's absolutely no expectation of a rate cut for the meeting next week in March, even no expectation of a cut in April. If we didn't have the Iran situation right now, we probably would be seeing a much higher likelihood of a rate cut in April. Not in March. March wouldn't be there, but April would be there. After the weak labor market data, after weak GDP data, we would see that, right? So the numbers for the core inflation for the PCE, remember last week we did the CPI. This week is the PCE. The PCE, personal consumption expenditure. It's the Fed's favorite gauge of inflation, but it doesn't matter. because number one, the Bureau of Economic Analysis, the BEA, which does the PCE, is still running behind. So I think this is January data. I mean, like, come on, guys, get your shit together. Talk about government entities. As a private business owner, my team, I wouldn't put up with, like, get your shit done. Come on. So this is still old data, and nobody cares. So we saw no market reaction to it. It's had no effect at all to rates and pricing this morning. So we don't worry about it. For the year last year, because now they've got the full final fourth quarter number, 2.1% GDP increase in GDP. So that's actually not a terrible thing. Trump will tell you it's the best 2.1 that you've ever seen, the highest 2.1 you've ever seen, higher than anyone else's 2.1. Yes, I like to have fun with that. So again, anybody that is looking at my hat and thinking Hammer started drinking early, I have Irish coffee, but no, there's nothing in this yet. But yes, we are celebrating early. We need something to celebrate, so I've chosen to start celebrating St. Patrick's Day early for next week. We'll do it again on Tuesday, but I'm not doing Friday the 13th because we don't need any bad luck as it is. So let's go ahead and bring this down a little bit. Few things to watch with that 10-year Treasury yield, 4.24. Again, there is no expectation we're going to see this thing drop. My lock advice, I'm going to throw it up on the screen down at the bottom. I still think things are going to get worse next week. I think we're going to continue to see volatility. We're going to continue to see rates creep higher next week. Part of the reason we're seeing this positive reaction that we're getting this morning is because there is a lot of talk of other countries that are working out deals with Iran to get their ships through the Strait of Hormuz. France and Italy supposedly are in talks with Iran. Turkey has already started getting some ships through. So I'm trying to see where the heck all this was. I know I've read this. I mean, I read all this crap in the morning. So, but that's why we're already seeing the moves on that is that we're seeing that, you know, they're starting to get things through. Good old Pete says, don't worry about it. Nothing to worry about. We've been dealing with it. Don't need to worry about it. He says, we're good. We're good. Again, I find that a lot of the propaganda that comes from our government is no different, better, or worse than propaganda from others. Maybe even a little bit better. But there's a lot of propaganda. Oil prices, if we take a look, let's see what CNBC, we'll go to oil. Take a look here. Brent crude, 98.87 right now. So we'll, let's go ahead and, come on. Doesn't that open it up full screen? Thought it did. There it is. Yeah. So we're at 98.82 at the moment, below 100, which is good. I think next week, though, it's going to go back over 100. All we need is you know, more fighting, more damage, more something, ships not going through, a lot of volatility. You'll see pockets like we have right now where there's some chances to improve a little bit. Rates should reflect the fact that we're up 20 basis points. But remember, reprice risk on the day is high. We've already seen where bonds were showing signs of giving up some of those gains. We've recovered them again a little bit right here. Oh, you guys can't see that. Let me bump the screen up a little bit. Do this. Okay. So in fact, here, we'll do this on one day. So we kind of peaked right here already with mortgage bonds. They were losing ground. We've got a little bit of a recovery. Again, I expect to see more choppy trading. So reprice risk on the day is high. Lenders are going to be quick to reprice on a weekend, on a Friday, not knowing what's going to happen or where things are going to go next week. So you're definitely going to see some itchy trigger fingers when it comes to stuff. And the advice remains at the bottom to be locking. These rates are not the rates that we're used to. These are not the rates that you're looking for. These are not the rates that you're looking for. However, these are the rates that we have. And, you know, they will go back down at some point, but it's when and how. And the longer that this thing goes on, the more of a lasting effect it will have across the board on inflation, on oil prices, and on rates. So we will see what next week brings. We have the Fed meeting in the middle of the week. It's unlikely that the Fed meeting is going to be a big mover for mortgage rates this time around. We've got lame duck. You know, you've got so many birds going on, right? We got doves, we have hawks, and we have ducks now. You got lame duck Fed Chair Jerome Powell, and there is no expectation, once again, I'll throw this up on the screen. There is no expectation that we will see any kind of moves before he is out of office there and in June. And he's not going to tip his hand whether he's going to stay on or not. It's going to be all the same questions. There'll be questions about the Iran oil inflation, and if he thinks that that's going to be a lasting inflationary issue, and he'll kind of evade that question quite a bit. They'll try to hit him and turn it into some politics stuff, but he generally doesn't fall for it. But there's no expectation that we're going to see any kind of rate cuts anytime there. So there's really nothing that can change in the outlook that the Fed meeting is going to help or hurt us on. Next week, it'll still remain all the headlines that we've seen here, everything on Iran and, how that's all going, and how everything is there. Headlines about the new leader over there being wounded and disfigured. That's all hearsay, and it doesn't really matter. It certainly doesn't matter rates and pricing. Again, stocks and bonds rise on sluggish economic data. That they really didn't. This is more headline than anything. The moves, when we take a look at them, the moves really weren't, you don't really see much of a move here. There was some move better here. I'll give it a little bit. And then it lost ground though. Oh, damn it. I got to put this higher. Actually, let me just get rid of the thing. There you go. Now you can see the bottom screen. So this was 8:30. We were at our lowest level. So you did see a reaction, but then within 15 minutes, it was halved. So that's why it wasn't really, you didn't see a strong reaction to data, and then now there's some recovery, and this is the volatility we would expect to see. We were already, improving on the day a little bit before then. So we'll see where it goes. And that's where it's at. What do you all have to say? Tim Klyla said, is the expectation as soon as the ships start to move, we'll see rates come back down? Back down? No. Come down? Yes. Again, what would we have to see to get us back to this 599 mark? What would we have to do? We would have to see mortgage bonds recover. They were, this particular coupon, the 5.0 was at 100.50. Now we're at 99.11. So let's just round this down to 99 for a minute. That's 150 basis points that we would have to recover. You're not going to see that happen in 5 minutes. The other thing too, look at where the 10-year treasury yield was. It was below 4. Now we're back to 4.25. You're not going to just see that drop. So the answer to Tim's question of the expectation that as soon as things start to move, and they are starting to move through the Strait of Hormuz. We'll pull up the news and you'll see. That was a day ago. That was 6 hours ago. He vows to keep blocking it. Trump said he would escort ships if needed. He's already said that, but yet, I don't know. We haven't. Pete says, don't worry about it. No evidence Iran has mined the Strait of Hormuz. Pentagon's Pete Hegseth says. So, but there, again, I know a ship from Turkey that got through, and that was a good thing, but there's a lot more ships that need to get through. Do I have those up here? No. So, but to answer that question, it would open the door for them to go back down. Oil would have to drop. I remember oil was around $60-something a barrel. So we would need to see a lot more than just the ships start to get through. We'd need to see this kind of all ease down, and it'll take a little while for that to happen. Now, what's more likely is it's going to continue next week, and we'll see things ratchet up. I don't want to be whipsawish. Today is a day that you could say, oh, look, there's some opportunity. Maybe we see some signs of recovery. Things will return back. I don't think that this is more than a temporary blip. I think it's a short, purchase opportunity after the sell-off here. I don't think that it's going to stay. I think things are going to get worse next week. We could argue that we have seen some technical support here from the purple line, the 200-day moving average, which was at 98.92 yesterday, and that's where bonds did stop. So it would be easy to say, oh, bonds got support from this 200-day moving average, and it's not going to matter. The reason that we're seeing these positive reactions are more to the fundamentals than the technicals. So that's why I'm not putting a lot of merit in the technicals. So I'm not talking a lot about the 200-day moving average or anything like that. So McAllister, it's Friday. You know what's in my cup, baby. Tito's. Yes, McAllister, you know. Tom Stafford, love it. Cracking his third Guinness of the morning. So, all right, my friends. Well, anyway, that's it. What are y'all doing this weekend? I am doing some, hopefully, almost the wrap up, except for all the finish work. We're going to finish, we're going to put in a vanity, a toilet, and shower doors in my son's bathroom so he can move in this weekend, and him and his wife, and they can move into their new home. So they have done so much work to it, so much remodeling. Don't let anybody tell you people are not buying homes. I know 3 people that have bought houses in the last couple of months. My son, my wife's girlfriend, my wife's other girlfriend. People are buying houses, y'all. So these rates are not a problem when it comes to home purchases. They're not stopping anybody from buying a house. They'll discourage them, they'll disappoint them, but it won't stop them. Christy Rezor, my husband and I started dating 14 years ago on St. Patrick's Day. It's the best day. Yep. Remember, it is actually on the 17th next week, but we're starting early. And I always take nuggets from here for social media. They made Sound great, better than last year at this time. So, and hashtag Tito's, hell yeah, girl. Yeah, very much so. So, and thank you. I'm glad that this helps y'all. It's funny. I saw an article. If you guys want to show me some love, do me a favor. Help me out. In Facebook, and we have to start promoting a lot more, our paid products and our free products. I have to do a better job. I'm not going to lie. So in Facebook, in the Brokers Are Best group, any of y'all in the Brokers Are Best group, there was a post on here from last night, and it said, all right, here you go. So it's Robert Salado, and it says, rates suck, and what do you guys think? And people are talking about what Barry Habib was saying, and then there's a little bit of hate on Barry, and there's a little bit of love on MBS Live, and that's all good stuff. I don't take anything away from that. But do me a favor. I need my friends to get on here and promote our stuff and tell everybody they've got to listen to Hammer, so they could sign up for our stuff at ratelockadvice.com. You could tag me in the post. I'm in the group, obviously. And but show me a little love. Help me spread the word. I need to promote my Rate Sensei brand a lot more. I'm doing a terrible job with that, and I need to do a better job. So starting next week, I'll do a better job. That's my my goal. So I'll promote my shit a little bit more. But Amy is doing baseball for the weekend. How's Zane doing on his tournament, Amy? How is my man Zane doing? And thank you, Christy. I appreciate you. What else y'all doing for the weekend? So, and then I'm going to wrap it up. It's been fun. I appreciate all of you. Again, cheers, kudos. I'll be going to the casino tonight. You know what? I have not had a losing session this year. That's in poker. That's pretty crazy. I've only played, I think, 6 or 7 times. But last week I played for about 2 hours and I wasn't feeling good. But I was already up $1,200, which is more than 2 buy-ins. And I'm like, you know what? I'm out of here. I played 2 hours and I left up $1,200. So maybe today I'll give some of it back. It happens. That's poker. But long term, you're focused on winning. So that's the goal. Y'all like my hat, by the way? Nobody said, hey, Hammer, nice hat. I'm doing a pub crawl on Saturday. Tomorrow, we're going drinking in town. Somebody leading a pub crawl. All the local drinking establishments on Main Street in Waynesville. I will gladly be wearing my proud cowboy hat that's part of why I had it for St. Patty's Day. And my shirt that my wife got me that says something about being charming and not needing luck. So it's doing great. A home run and the last game. That was awesome. Good for him, man. Good for him. That is great. So again, tell him I said good luck and have fun. Winning is awesome, but focus on having fun anyway. So, all right, my friends, I'm going to wrap it up. 6-7. I don't even know when I said that, dude. I don't have young kids, thank goodness. So I don't have to worry about that. My kids are 28 and 27. So I don't have that 6-7 thing, but all right, my friends, y'all have a great one. I'll see you on Monday. We'll get back to business and all that good stuff. So Yeah, Monica said St. Patty's Day pub crawl, my favorite time of year. Anyone else doing a pub crawl this weekend? Anyone else doing a St. Patty's Day pub crawl this weekend? I don't drink beer. I know everyone thinks it's so crazy that I don't drink beer, but I never had a taste for it. But I'll be drinking. So, all right, my friends. Well, anyway, have a fantastic weekend. Be safe. Appreciate you all. See you Monday. Bye bye.